Don't forget to like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to stay updated with our latest videos. 5 artists who really didn't like John Lennon. Many people don't know this, but John Lennon was a musical legend, an icon of peace, and a symbol of the counterculture movement of the 1960s. But not everyone was a fan. Behind the scenes, Lennon faced criticism and even hostility from other musicians. Here are 5 musicians who have spoken out against John Lennon. If you're a fan of John Lennon or just interested in learning more, click the like button and subscribe to our channel. This is Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley hated John Lennon and never forgave him from the first time they met. The King and Tom Jones became close because they both had bad experiences with the Beatles star and made a funny joke when the Fab Four broke up. Chris Hutchins told the Daily Mail that Presley's dislike for Lennon started when they met for the first time, and that Presley was deeply offended when Lennon spoke about his pacifist beliefs in front of him. My dislike of John Lennon was born the night I took the Fab Four to his house for their first and last meeting. JN had annoyed Presley by making his anti-war feelings known the moment he stepped into the massive lounge and spotted the table lamp model wagons engraved with the message all the way from Lyndon B. Johnson. Lyndon didn't like how President Lyndon Johnson made the Vietnam War more important. Hutchins said Presley was so mad at Lennon, he tried to get him deported. Presley allied himself with the FBI director Ed Hoover and encouraged him to have Lennon thrown out of the U.S. In 1971, Elvis met with Edgar Hoover at the FBI offices and told him that the Beatles laid the groundwork for many of the problems we are having with young people because of their filthy, uncouth appearances and suggestive music. In the early 1970s, Todd Rundgren's hit songs such as Hello, It's Me played a crucial role in 70s pop and progressive music, with the melodies perhaps drawing inspiration from the Beatles. Rundgren wasn't exactly willing to heap praise on Lennon's name as Lennon started his solo career by releasing albums like Plastic Ono Band and Imagine. Rundgren began to take offense to Lennon's place in music history, even though he was already solidified as one of the greatest writers of his time. Rundgren saw Lennon's advocacy for peace as nothing but posturing, telling Melody Maker all he really wants to do is get attention for himself. And if revolution gets him that attention, he'll get attention through revolution, regardless of his status as one of the leading voices of his generation. Lennon was also adamant about speaking for his ideals, reminding Rundgren, I think you're being mean to me because you think I did something to you. Steely Dan, who are known for being realistic, made fun of Lion's optimism in their song, Only a Fool Would Say That, which showed disdain for what they saw as Lennon's empty words. The search for utopia. Lennon may have been the smart one, but Steely Dan suddenly became smart enough to know better. Lennon chose the latter, but he didn't give up enough things or fix enough of his mistakes to be considered a saint, which made him a target for critics like Steely Dan and Frank Zappa, who didn't like what he preached. Steely Dan made fun of Lion's 1971 song Imagine by writing one of the most exciting songs from their 1972 record, Can't Buy a Thrill. It would be absurd to say Donald Fagen depicts John Lennon as a clueless aristocrat whose talk of world peace is irrelevant to the poor and oppressed. The song was supposedly written to make fun of John Lennon's dangerously insensitive imagination as he sings about not having any possessions on an all-white Steinway inside his all-white rock star mansion. Joni Mitchell, John Lennon, and Joni Mitchell were two of the most famous artists of their time. They met several times but didn't make the best impressions on each other. Mitchell had made a name for herself as the new female folk hero. When her album Blue came out in 1971, it introduced fans to her unique style of confessional songwriting. This album and the ones that came after it showed why she is still an inspiration to modern artists like Lana Del Rey and Taylor Swift. Mitchell wrote with a vulnerability that made it feel brand new and honest. But Lennon wasn't pleased. John Lennon made Joni Mitchell mad by giving her bad advice about her music. Mitchell didn't like Dylan. Bob Dylan also influenced John Lennon. He liked Dylan's introspective songwriting style and used it in many of his Beatles songs, such as My Life and You've Got to Hide Your Love Away. Dylan didn't like it when Lennon copied his style, though. In 1966, Dylan released a song called Fourth Time Around, which was a harsh jab at John Lennon and the Beatles. It's a hidden gem on Dylan's masterpiece album Blonde on Blonde, and is also a clever and cut parody of Norwegian Wood This Bird Has Flied. Dylan makes fun of the song's melody, rhythm, and words, making a sarcastic and biting comment on the Fab Four's style of music to make sure John Lennon got the point. John was like a lyrical punching bag when Dylan played the song for him in person.